Deal with it. Kwame Yashara, Israel. What's going on, man? King drop. First of all, a little survival drop. You know, these specs cost $19.99. I got these from Sears. Here's the coolest part about it. When you're in the dark, and you're outside, you camping, or you gotta do some handiwork, or you see somebody might be trying to have the drop on you, and it's dark outside or in the house, got your specs. What you say now? And then if that ain't enough, I did that. It's scary at night, man. You think of aliens coming at you. I know it's light outside, but I mean, this is how you turn the club up. This is how you turn the club up. This is how you turn the club up. Alright, man. Sorry. So yeah, man, $19.99 at Sears. I'm gonna get like 5 or 6, 7 of these, man. So you know, in case they break. It's kind of cool, right? Alright. Just giving y'all some drop on that. Second bit of drop is that I didn't know every time I ordered a Caesar salad, I was ordering a Khazar salad. Khazar salad. It's Khazar, not Caesar. This is part 2. I know last time I said that was part 2 because somehow my part 1 got deleted off YouTube. 2 hours of drop that preceded that drop that just came with the Mazaca and Mosoch. So that was part 2. You missed the whole 2 hours. So I'm just going to kind of just tie in a couple things that I think y'all missed. Alright. Love y'all. King drop at you. Let's get it. And please enjoy the beautiful ambiance. It's in 432. Some of that indigenous, you know, music. I got that idea from Higher Mark. So let me play some cool drop in the background on them right quick. Just drop it on. Oh man, my bad. My bad. I mean to literally drop it on y'all. I just playing. Am I still recording, man? Y'all see me? Can y'all see me? Alright, my bad. Sorry for the rough intro. Alright. This is from Brian Forster. Occasionally, man, I mean, he stumbles on some things, and I like to see what he's stumbling on over there with the archaeologies, on the archaeologies tip. If you dig on it, let's dig it. Peru, Cusco. Now, Cusco is known as the center. When you research Cusco, it's called the navel of the earth, right? So don't think of it like necessarily the center of the entire landmass, right, of all the old world, but just think of what they call the new world, right? South America, America, and Peru being the center of this world, the world that we inhabit, that we live in, that we are indigenous to, all right? So they found some drop in Cusco, some tunnels and caverns and stuff, and I think it's mighty interesting. A lot of times you're going to see these heads. Turn this down. You're going to see these heads, you know what I'm saying? And then you tie in the whole Poseidon, right? Who's Poseidon? In Greek mythology, Poseidon basically gets cursed, you know what I'm saying? Because his father Zeus does something to emasculate his father, who's like Cronin. So Cronin, instead of cursing Zeus, curses Poseidon. Poseidon gets pissed off and he goes into another terrain that he's not supposed to be in and sets up shop and mixes in with the people. That is picking up your Thoth, your Tahuti, your Atlantis, your Egypt. That's Nephilim. Poseidon. See, we're all angel seed, right? We're all energy, right? But do you belong to their energy? Or do you belong to the energy above the firmament? They would like you to think that they've created all this, that everything comes out of their chaos. But when the voice is in you, you only know order. There is no going against the consciousness that you are conscious in. So yeah, they had the elongating skulls because they were mimicking their gods. And this is a certain groups and tribes that are in Peru. That is not the indigenous people. The indigenous people did not have elongated skulls. Right? So these are the gods that came and mixed in with them. This is your land, Negro. Oh, you think you're from Compton now? Think you're from Chi-Town? You from Harlem? You're not from their man-made cities. Go home. Go home. Then it's checkmate. Now, we just read in the American Holocaust book, how did the Maya fight the Spaniards? If you haven't checked out the part 1 to this is really part 3. But, check out the previous joint. But yeah, when you get the book American Holocaust, you can pull it up right on Let Us Find the Truths homepage, I believe, or his resource page. Check it out. It has so many great resources. I've downloaded all of them. I'm going to probably try to set it up too at the drop so that you can have multiple libraries in case one thing happens to somebody else's library. You still have another place to get the drop. So that's a great idea the brother has, and just a great soldier and warrior for the truth, for real. Let us find the truth. When you get that book American Holocaust, it lets you know, one, that in 1638, I believe that's 38 or 48, I think it's 1638, that the Mayas literally kicked the Spaniards out of America. The Spaniards had to retreat in 1638. Did they teach you, Negro, that you had to fight the invaders? And in 1638, you kicked the invaders off your land. then of course they came back with their diseases and they took us all out. They realized very quickly they were not strong enough to go head up. So they came back with trickery. And that's how they almost exterminated all of the Negro, indigenous, aboriginal, Anasazi people, first people of this hemisphere. We're going to tie in this Mazaca. We're going to tie it back home to America. Because as I watched the previous joint, and I watched myself read that these people were first called Mazaca by the Haitians. I said, why didn't that click before? That Mazaca, the original name for this Byzantine Turkey area, was called Mazaca first by the Haitians. Well, who are the Haitians? Clearly they're not called Haitians, right? What's their original name? But these people called our people here in America, right? Haiti's in America, right? Hispaniola? Huh? Ain't that America? Didn't Columbus call Haiti Atlantis in his own documents? Columbus first called Haiti, Hispaniola, Atlantis. He thought he was in Atlantis. It was so beautiful. Now these people are calling this place Mazaca first. So how are they calling some place in Turkey Mazaca first if they are in a whole nother world? Not the old world or the so-called old world, which is really the new world, right? This is the oldest land here. The oldest pyramids here. Everything's older here. You've been tricked. You've been duped. You've been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. You've been run amok. You've been tricked. You've been fooled. You've been lied to. Let us not accept these lies any further. This is the old world. That is the new world. And they were trapped there. Until the Most High Power allowed them to cross that partition, that barrier, and they brought their idol across that barrier, and they enslaved us. And the Pope said in the Dumb Diverses 1452, kings of Spain and Portugal, you have my decree to subjugate these black people over there in the Western Hemisphere into perpetual servitude and jack all their shit. Where you from, Negro? You from Harlem? You from Brooklyn? You from Inglewood? Where you from, man? What hood you from? I guarantee you ain't from there. I guarantee you from a wilderness nearby, and you are wilderness people. How did the Maya fight the Spaniards? They retreated to the jungle. And there they were invincible. You know the Gola Wars, guerrilla warfare. You cannot defeat these people in their own terrain. So they came out to fight them, and then they would retreat. The Spaniards would go into the jungle and get lost and die and starve to death. Then they would come out and fight again, retreat back into their jungle, their wilderness, right? And the Spaniards would die. How do you fight your invaders today, Negro? Do you go into the streets and just die? What's your battle plan? You see, this ain't no secret. These people know. But they also know that we're invincible in our own wilderness. But they also know they can't stop us from going to our wilderness. Only after a certain point will they try. But do they have the orders to destroy order? If we going home in the wilderness is order by hey, and their master still serves order, then do they have order to destroy order? Has order ever been destroyed? These are the things you need to vibrate to. And know that you are invincible in order, because even that mastema, that devil, must come back to the Creator and beg for a tenth of his angels to confound you with. So if he has to beg your father, that goon has to beg your father for some more goons, then who's your father? Is he not Sensei? So if you are the child of Sensei, is that not your goon? Is not your father's goon that's begging your father for these demons? Ain't he your goon too? when you are in your father's house? If he works for your father, doesn't he work for you by default? But not if you're not in your father's house, not if you're not in order. So when you come home, can they destroy you?
No.
Can they destroy you at home? So what's your plan?
So what you've been looking at are some tunnels and caves in the region of Cusco, Peru. Actually close to Sacsayhuaman, where I'm located right now. Now, most of the tunnels themselves were natural in the beginning, but someone clearly came along and altered them to make them at least human height in size, both height-wise and width. And there are reputed to be many more tunnels in the area, some of them at least a mile long. The question is, are they natural or were they constructed by someone? The most famous one is likely right below my feet. It stretches more than a mile, going from a site back here called the Chincana, which is the name by the Inca of tunnel, goes underground all the way to the center of Cusco, to what is called
a tunnel underground going over a mile. He says first these things were not even human size, but they were converted to human size. So you got the Nephilim here building their own shit. And then other people come, regular, size people say, all right, let's convert this to our type of dwelling place. Now he just drops a tunnel on you going over a mile in Peru. Could Peru also be connected to Mexico underground? Could Mexico also be connected to the Four Corners underground? Now yous get it. Now yous get it.
the Khorikancha.
Alright. So go check that out. Do you. Do your thing. What you gotta do. Let's keep it going. We back. So let's get it. Let's just go right there. I'm going to put a link underneath. Should be one of the first ones. This is out of a book called Tower of Babel, The Cultural History of Our Ancestors. Tower of Babel. What's Lex will drop it to you? Why do I keep saying what is Lex will drop it to you? Find out for yourself and connect it. Man. So pull that up. And you're going to get something like this. Out the Tower of Babel, The Cultural History of Our Ancestors by Bodie or Bodie Hodge. B-O-D-I-E Hodge. Mosoch, Meshech. All right, so you got the same drop we were kicking. Another source with the original Mazaca in Turkey, right? But look what it says right here. Read that on top. Possibly the Moshe, and you got it, in South America. Huh? Oh, so let's scroll down and see what they say. Possibly the Moshe, or they spell it M-O-C-H-E. What are they hiding, man? Right? It's confusing. It's like, what are you hiding? You know, of course, I've been looking at it too, right? You know, you see Moshe in it, and I'm like, all right, well, we're talking about the sons of Japheth, so that makes no sense. So I don't, I haven't connected that. I just see it clearly in front of me. And of course, we know that's not a son of Japheth, but again, we know these titles have been switched around, and our history has been mumbled and jumbled. So, could we possibly be talking about, Moshe and his people? I haven't connected that yet. But what I do see is that clearly there's a culture of these Mazaca or Mosoch, if they are indeed sons of Japheth, but they're clearly here, which is what we keep telling you, is that this happened here. This Tower of Babel, and then it's going to put off to the side. By the way, there's a tribe in Peru. Maybe they went there later. Or you flip it, maybe they started there, or were there, or are here already, and then went to other areas. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they're Japheth, then clearly they're not indigenous to this land, but they set up shop here at some point in South America and still had their connection, or went there later, or maybe they did start there, you know what I'm saying, in what we call Europe or Asia, Central Asia, and then set up shop here too. Same thing like Egypt is here too, and here it is, even though we know Egypt started here first. But Egypt was the Poseidon, these fallen angels mixing in with the indigenous people here. That's your Egypt. There is no such thing as a land called Egypt. They have no inheritance on this earth. Cometians do, not Egyptians. That's the difference, right? So the indigenous Cometians, or sons of Ham, or Ham, you know what I'm saying? The Cushites and all this other stuff, the Ethiopia. Then we understand these are indigenous people. These are our melanated family. But they were victimized by a slave vibration, which is spoken about by Thoth, Tahuti, you know what I'm saying, Hermes, Mercury, whatever you want to call them, because all this Greek mythology stuff mixes in and out. But what came out of that? That became your birth of Christianity. That became, you know what I'm saying, what these, original, Khazars were really, really rocking with. You know what I'm saying? This, the king of Cappadocia and all this kind of stuff before they converted in the 7th and 8th century. All right, so let's get this. What are you trying to say, map of Meshech, son of Japheth? What are you trying to say about Mosoch? All right. Now it says, descendants of Meshech lived from the Middle East, not far from Israel. So you're going to throw Israel around in there as if this was some type of switching in history of trickery, right? Not far from Israel, all right? Into Asia Minor, Afro-Asians, Cappadocius, per Josephus and Strabo. That brings us back to our Josephus conversation. And up through Caucasian Iberia, which we know the original Caucasians are also dark, melanated people, all right? Which is between the Black Euxine Sea, Black Sea, all right? Black people, Black Sea, and Caspian Sea. And that's from Dr. John Gill. And then he points out Meshech, or Meshech, was a son of Japheth. He refers to Genesis 10, whose posterity are thought by some to be the Muscovites and Scythians, right? Those are your Moscow. That's your Russians, right? A barbarous sort of people, barbarians. Meshech is frequently mentioned with Tubal and his brother, and with Gog and Magog in Ezekiel 38 and 39. The Targum here calls them Asiatics. Rather, the Cappadocians, according to Josephus and Strabo, make mention of a city of theirs called Mazaca. Could that be in South America? We'll get it. And the rather, since they are mentioned with the Catarenes, or Arabian Sinites, and were nearer to the land of Judea than the former. Nearer to the land of Judea than the former. Nearer to the land of Judea than the former. Read it, pause it. Alright? We're just pulling out documentation. This is just called drop. Knowledge, power, energy, right? You take it and you build with that. And we're rebuilding our house here. It's been built. We're putting it back together, but it's going into a higher resonance because we are at a higher resonance. And we got to catch up quick. You don't want to miss this beautiful shift. You don't want to miss this consciousness. You think it's going to be around forever for you to journey along and catch when you're ready to catch it? Do you think you're going by your own plan, your own design? Do you understand that you are inside the consciousness of another? Where do you think your energy and your source goes? Why is your thought so powerful? Because when you are in order, your thoughts are in the order of thought itself. You can literally create anything. The whole, are you living in a simulation type of thing like that? Well, you could. I mean, they can call it a simulation. You can call it a consciousness. Right? So whatever reflection of this consciousness it is, it's all the real thing when you understand you are in a real consciousness system, a real grid. You play video games and there's borders. You can't get past certain borders. You can't get past certain borders in real life. We're starting to get it. And this is real. Right? So when they say simulation, they want to make it seem like it's some type of just virtual reality fake thing. But it's real because we're just talking about energy, frequency, and vibrations. And your physical representation, could be subjected to just energetic patterns that your brain is receiving, your physical brain. But when you understand your heart does more thinking than your brain, then you understand to think through your heart center. Now in Christianity, what did you learn? Your heart is deceiving before everything, right? So they just kill your heart in Christianity right away. Your heart is deceiving. Do you read that in your Torah tonight? Or are you supposed to get back into your heart center, where you really are thinking with your ruach, your spirit, your soul, not your conditional mind that can be conditioned? So they called it Mazaca. I'll read it again. Rather, the Cappadocians, according to Josephus and Strabo, make mention of a city of theirs called Mazaca, and the rather, since they are mentioned with the Catarenes and Arabian Sinites, and were nearer to the land of Judea than the former. So I'm going to go to this paragraph here. Alright, so Mosoch, and the variant names such as Meshera, Maksha, Mashka, Mashika, Mashe, Muscovy, and so are the present in and around the Moscow region of Russia. The old name Moscow was Meshik and Meshera, and there is still the Meshera lowland in the area in the famous Meshera National Park. It is likely that the language family spoken from this region across the far north of Russia, both east and west, are as far as Finland, is closer to the original Meskhetian language, Magog and Scythians, as did the Turks and Togarmah farther east, and many migrations and wars dominated much of Russia and the Moscow region. This is why much of the area up to Moscow now speaks Slavic languages, Scythians and Magog. It may well have been because of some of these Magog expansions that some groups, for example, the Huns and others, potentially moved out of the region where Meshech lived. So you figure, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of stuff in there that a lot of people are really touching on. So now we're talking about the expansions. Now we're talking about the Huns. We're going to get back to those Khans that Lex Will keeps breaking out. I don't know anybody else dropping Genghis Khan like Lex Will is. And I'm seeing Khan all over the place, right? The Huns and the Khan and all this kind of stuff. And he just broke that all the way down consistently. You know what I'm saying? So you got this Khans, which he's also calling the man, what king is that? You already know. I'm sorry, Shalmaneser. So Shalmaneser, Genghis Khan, according to Lex Will's research, and I back it, are matching up. The timelines are way off. They giving us stuff for the Northern Kingdom in 750 BC that might have just happened in 1100 AD. You know what I'm saying? What would you do to your enemies? What truth would you give them? Would you say, yeah, but that was 2,000 something years ago, so you ain't even really fronting on? You're like, all right, well, it's been so long. But if they just said it just happened, you'll be like, this just happened. Well, I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with that. This just happening to me. I'm not cool with this. Y'all just getting here, jamming us up a few hundred years ago, and we was rocking a certain way for eons. You know what I'm saying? However far you want to go back all the way into the order. Some people go so far and they say, well, see, look, this is the drop. You keep going. You keep going till you realize it's order over chaos. You can't have your own order because you want to. You're not in your own conscience. All right? You want to wear the pants? You want to wear the big boy pants? All right, then you go form your own earth. You create it yourself. You create all the mysteries yourself. You do all of it yourself. And then people can look at you and say, all right, well, cool. Do your thing. You earned it. But if someone else has done this for you, why slap them in the face? When they say, all you got to do is listen to me, child. I'm giving you the drop on survival. And you just want to go your own way. Don't sheep want to go their own way and the shepherd keeps having to get that sheep? Now, what if one sheep gets lost? Doesn't the shepherd go look for it? And if somebody returns that one sheep, is not the shepherd grateful? If one of your children get lost and somebody returns them, aren't they grateful? But those that are scattering your flock consciously, how do you feel about them? What's going to happen to them? Either you're gathering or you're scattering. Order over chaos. So here we go. There was a group of people known as Moshe or Mashi or Mashera in Peru, in South America. I would leave open the possibility, so he ain't even gonna touch it. He did all this research. He drops Peru and Moshe and says, I'm out this place. He said, hey, John. He did a stage left on you right quick. I'll read it again. There was a group of people known as Moshe, Mashi, or Mashera in Peru in South America. I will leave open the possibility that these people were descendants of Meshi that traveled this far. So he's going to reverse it, right? So these must be the people that traveled far. Well, yeah. If they started indigenously with the sons of Japheth on that side of the world. If that's their indigenous land, which that can very well be the possibility, yes. If this tribe that you're getting at is some type of hidden situation that was kind of written in as a son of Japheth, but might not be a son of Japheth. Maybe they are a son of Shem, but they were written a certain way, and that's why it was swept under, and now you got these Khazars popping up like Khazariah, Turkey, Byzantine. If the land's not called Turkey, it's not called Byzantine, but these people are calling it Mazaca. All right, so these are possibilities. You know, when we surf this wave, you know, cool. We're going to, you know, throw some breadcrumbs both ways and see somebody might pull up some on this. So I'm learning with you. So you tell me, are these Mazaca people indigenous here? Or are they indigenous there and they just had kingdoms in two places the same way that Egypt did, right? Same way that the Moors, you know, would say we're from Morocco, or, you know what I'm saying, the source in the last video put the river of Foot, P-H-U-T, talking about that with the sons of Ham. So you got the Amorites, you got this stuff, you got that. So all this evidence shows that the indigenous place of these people are really over there. As far as the indigenous people that are now being called Moors. Just because our family wake up today and they dig the science, or they dig the law of it, or they dig, you know, certain aspects, the brotherhood aspect, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it, man. Hey, man, I was 17 years old. I went to UC Davis. I got this brand on me. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I was just in that mentality. I was like, oh, that's my rite of passage. Everybody's burning themselves. Yeah, I didn't, you know, my conscience wasn't there. Now I wear it as battle wounds. These are my battle scars. All this is battle scars. I got scarred up, right? You know, that's, I went through hell. I look like I went through hell. You look like, you know what I'm saying? But now we got to cleanse ourselves, man. So there was a group of people known as Mosoch, Mashki, Meshera in Peru and South America. I would leave open the possibility that these people were descendants of Mosoch that traveled this far. It would be nice to see if their language was similar to this people in Northern Europe and Asia. So I would love to connect the philology, right? I would love to connect the study of languages, which we're going to get to, which I did. I'm going to do another job with this other stuff. Anyway, it would be nice to see if their languages was similar to this people in Northern Europe and Asia. However, their language went extinct about 100 years ago. About 100 years ago. So this may be a question for a dedicated linguist to work with what little research is available. A dedicated language. 100 years ago. Now, I want to see when this book was written right quick. Let me click on this link. I'm going to go back. All right, so it says it was published March 1st, 2013. Now, I'm going to make sure I got that right. That's from what I'm getting. Now this could be, I'm not seeing where it says it was rewritten here. Alright, so I'm going to go with 2013. If it was, let's say, the 1800s. Let's say it was the 1700s. Let's go crazy here, right? I'm looking at the evidence of 2013. That could be the publishing. That could not be the real thing, right? That's cool. It's cool. It's real cool. Let me go back. Find wherever I was. Get myself lost on. Alright, yeah, let me just go back here. Alright. If we're talking 1700s, let's say this book was rewritten, right? Let's say 1600s. Then this person's saying that this language went extinct 100 years prior. So 100 years prior from 1600 would be 1500s. 1500s would mean that it only went prior because of Columbus and Cortez and the conquistadors. What happened to the people of Easter Island? All these monoliths. What happened to the people? When you research that, these were indigenous people. Shout out to Smooth's Perspective, man. Shalak, man, for dropping that drop. So the indigenous people of Eastern Island were you. That's America, right? That's the Western Hemisphere, right? That's one of our islands. The indigenous people, Hawaii, the indigenous people. I'm talking everything being connected. You know what I'm saying? You know everything was connected. You know that. Let's say it was actually written in 2013. Would that mean that the indigenous language that this person wants to connect to northern, Russia, Northern Europe, really Asia, that it just went extinct in the 1900s? further letting you know that this is very recent. See, this Mazaca drop, it's a lot of drop. And I don't know, I told y'all why I started reading this, man. Because I was reading in the book of Josephus, The Antiquity of the Jews in chapter 6, where it says how every nation was denominated from their first inhabitants. And I said, very interesting, Josephus. I understand that you're writing out of the Roman Empire. I understand you're buddy with Vespasian and all these guys, right? But I understand, too, that you're not just... Something about Josephus is like, he's not giving you all the drop. He can't, right? He's writing under Caesar. But he's putting fucking breadcrumbs everywhere, right? Because there's a part of his heritage that he does want to preserve. He doesn't appear to be coming off as somebody that only has an agenda to destroy. Because that writer wouldn't write you certain ways. The way he does it, speaking out of the land of Judea, validating what he's validating, but still dropping enough drop to let you know that this Christianity shit, you know what I'm saying, it is an Iverson crossover. And he's going to drop Mazaca. And the way he drops it in book 1, chapter 6, he says, and now, and the Mazashini were founded by Mazaca. Now, they are the Cappadocians. There is also a mark of their ancient denomination still to be showed. For there is even now among them a city called Mazaca, which may inform those that are able to understand that so was the entire nation once called. Okay? Which may inform those that are able to understand. So that got me searching Mazaca like a mug, right? Now I want to go, let me see. I'll read that last part again. And I'll show you a quick map of theirs, which is pretty dope. It's from the 1700s. The one I showed you previously was from the 1500s. I'll show you that again. Now it says, there was a group of people known as Mashi, and Mashera. This is out the book Tower of Babel, The Cultural History of Our Ancestors, published in 2013. There was a group of people known as Mashera in Peru, in South America. And we've been searching in Byzantine Turkey, right? I would leave open the possibility that these people were descendants of Mosoch that traveled this far. Possibly. He said, I'm going to leave open the possibility that these people travel from afar to get here. Should we take it as a fact that they travel from afar? Or did he say, I'll just leave open the possibility, which means that there's a possibility they are from here? For those that are able to understand. I will leave open the possibility that these people were descendants of Mosoch that traveled this far. It would be nice to see if their language was similar to this people. I would love to check the philology. I would love to check the study of languages to connect these people to the old world. However, it would be nice to see if their language was similar to this people in Northern Europe and Asia. However, their language was extinct. Went extinct about 100 years ago. So whatever they were speaking, they know, I mean, if it only went at the furthest, if it only went extinct in the 1500s, but quite possibly it only went extinct in the 1900s, how is that really extinct? I mean, how can they not find out? Do you buy it? Is this drop or is this trickery? Right? We're getting drop. We're getting the babies out, but you got to recognize what else is in the bathwater too. We can't take it all at face value. So we're trying to get the drop without taking it, we're trying to discern, right? However, their language went extinct about 100 years ago. So this may be a question for a dedicated linguist to work with what little research is available. Okay. They don't know nothing about you. They're writing in a Boston Society. We can guess, but we don't know. So if their best scholars can never tell you who you are, why do you buy that you just came out of Africa? Because Darwin said everyone came out of Africa. You want to clean to something shiny over there when the shiniest shit is right underneath your feet. It's on your land here. This is the old world. And in the old world, everything happened here. The Tower of Babel, Egypt, Judea, Hebrews, more. So much happened here. But just because all these seeds are here doesn't mean it's theirs. It's just what's going down. You understand? That's the tribal war. It's all about land. When you got the Aztecs and Mayans saying we're coming back to our mountains and valleys, and they start slaughtering, Joshua and them start slaughtering people in America. So we got our black leaders saying, man, why would, man, you know what I'm saying? The Bible's anti-African. It's anti-black. Well, if you're talking about, you know, we're talking about seeds, we're talking about tribes, we're all anti-something. One tribe is anti that tribe based on what? Their energy, their land. Everybody likes to kick it in our land. And that's an issue. Because what happens to the people of the land? I'm not talking about of earth, of this particular lot. We were put it in lots, divine lots by order, so we don't get it twisted. Some people like to desire other people's because they want to, you know, we always desire somebody else. You got one dude looking at another dude's female, like, I desire her. I want to take her from that dude. That's a sick mentality, man. To not have your own, to not be secure. So these people are insecure and they take what's yours. Even our melanated people are insecure and they take what's yours because they like it over here. They don't like us saying it's not theirs, but they know it's not theirs. Their family is telling them where they're from. So what do? Act dumb and be defeated and research this and realize we've been invaded and that we kicked the Spaniards out in 1638? How did you get the power in 1638 to defeat the Spaniards? And how did they get the power to defeat you? It's not just a biological chemical warfare. Your God stopped fighting with you. Your power deserted you because you deserted your power a long time before that. We have a patient father. Remember, they got over here and they said, these people, it's like living in a dream. They thought they were a dream, and the Spaniards, conquistadors, say in their own, you know what I'm saying, documentation. So if they thought they were in a dream, which means you were really living in paradise. Even while you worshipped your idols, you were living in paradise. And you tell me you don't love Haya? They just defeated you, man. Your bid was up in 2013, and this book was written and published in 2013. Now you getting dropped that came after the 394 years according to the Maya Baktun. When the time was up, the 394-year bid that we had to do was up, and this book came out right there. And what does it say? There was a group of people known as Mashe, Mashera in Peru and South America. I will leave open the possibility that these people were descendants of Mashe that traveled this far. It would be nice to see if their language was similar to this people in Northern Europe and Asia. However, their language went extinct about 100 years ago, so this may be a question for a dedicated linguist to work with what little research is available. So let's go crazy. Just what if this is Moses' people coming, migrating back in. They set up shop in Peru. They set up shop in Tenochtitlan. You know? And this land that we're talking about in Asia. Right here it's a little small. Wish I had a bigger one. Maybe I can hit this. Alright. This is from the 1700s. I just have to point to it because you can't see it, but you can pull it up. That's Mazaca. That's Mashe. We spell it right here. M-O-S-C-H-I. Mashi. Mashi. Alright. Now they're connecting that. You know what I'm saying? Possibly, you know, however they're doing it. That's all Asia. I mean, so that could be a part of Asia. that was a part of the migration, you know what I'm saying, of Moses, that they're calling it that, but they don't want you to find these breadcrumbs, so they just throw him into another family. When these trickery people give you the Biblios, even your Torah, and they write it in a little differently so that you can't trace certain migration of Moses. As we know, these Aztecs in their cliches are saying they followed this, one of their chiefs with the staff. He put the staff down and the water split. So all that water splitting is coming out the Maya cliches. That's not mythology. You want to call it a fable? You don't understand the power you're dealing with here, man. These are the Most High's people. Anything can happen. Crazy people. You're talking about the Most High and his seeds. What would he do for you? What have you given an opportunity to do for you? Or do you want to do it yourself and deny that you were created, that you came out of chaos? It takes more faith for you to believe you came out of chaos. Alright? Then you can pick up a bumblebee and see the specifics of the bumblebee. Or look at yourself in the mirror and tell me you came out of an accidental universal passing of gas. Evolution, but no transitional fossils. Let's go. So that maps out the 1500s. The 1700s. I'll take you back to the map that we showed in the previous part from the 1500s, where they got Cappadocia up here, which is Mazaca. You see how that's all connected. That Asia is connected to Africa. Interesting thing here is that they're calling this area right here Syria. That's Syria. Put an A, you change the S's to an F, Afria. Alright. One part I wanted to get out of this previous drop here. Let's see. I did it again. My bad. I just be jamming myself up. As if I'm not jammed up enough. You know what I'm saying? I gotta jam my damn self up. This is from the making of Christian communities in late antiquity and the Middle Ages by Mark F. Williams about Mazaca. This is another source. Check it out. We saw it last time, but I'm gonna read it from the top because there was no part one, or my part one was mysteriously deleted. So I read this in part one. Mosoch the founder in the early 5th century. Philostrogius Yeah. All right. In the early 5th century, Philostrogius wrote another ecclesiastical history. Remember, we researched ecclesiastical. I hope that was in part 1 or 2. It says of or pertaining to the church. So anything you see ecclesiastic comes from the Roman church. So ecclesiastical history is Roman history. But then they say biblical history, and we think that's mythology. Their mythology. They got Greek mythology, Roman mythology, and ecclesiastical is that. And they combine that in Cretinism with biblical tales, right? And they combine that with Egypt, and they create Christianity. And that is true. And we got to help our family because they're worshiping this syncretism. And they don't have foundation there. The foundational legends is that which they covered up. Mosoch is a foundational legend, and it was covered up. Mosoch the founder in the early 5th century, Philostrogius wrote another ecclesiastical history, church history. Philostrogius was a native of Cappadocia and grew up in the shadows of the great Cappadocian fathers. That's all Mazaca. Despite their preeminence, Philostrogius did not embrace their vision of orthodox theology, right? So what they're calling orthodox theology, and we're just going to go, crazy. This could be what they're just talking about, the foundational understanding, the real understanding. So this Philostrogius denied the reality, and he accepted what? He and his family accepted the doctrines of eunomius. All right, here comes Christianity. Drum roll, please. Let's read that. Read it, pause it. Read it, pause it. Read it, pause it. Philostrosius did not embrace their version of Orthodox theology or the foundational legends. Instead, he and his family accepted the doctrines of Eunomius. Eunomius is the last king of Cappadocia. Another Cappadocian theologian who, we got another one called Eunomius, or Eunobius or something like that. Another Cappadocian theologian, so let's just call him a Cappadocian theologian, or somebody's kicking theology. Remember, what do our Christian pastors have to go to? Theology school. You're going to connect all this with theology school. Here we go. Philostrosius did not embrace the Orthodox theology. Instead, he and his family accepted the doctrines, Christian doctrine, of Eunomius, another Cappadocian theologian whom Basil and Gregory of Nyssa would personally discredit and vilify. So they discredited him, vilified him because, they're like, you don't have the drop. So it says, nor did Philostrosius remain in Cappadocia. So he left it because at that time, the foundational legend, was still there. So he couldn't front on those people. So he had to eventually move to Constantinople. Now you have Constantine, right? So this Philostrosius had to eventually move to Constantinople. In his ecclesiastical history, church history, Philostrosius was hence both economical and local. All right, he included many tidbits. Here you got to go. This is Philostrosius. This is your invention of Christianity. This is what Constantine had to convert to, and this is why it messed up his relationships with the Iranians or Persians, which they had a treaty in 298 AD, and this is what messed it up. He included many tidbits of odd information about biblical events. Tidbits of odd information about biblical events. Foundational legend. That Philostrosius did not accept the foundational legend. He didn't accept the real shit, so he accepted theology, and he included tidbits or odd information of the real shit. Biblical events. And what does it say? Nor did Philostrosius remain in Cappadocia, since eventually he moved to Constantinople. In his ecclesiastical history, church history, Philostrosius was hence both economical and local. He included many tidbits of odd information about biblical events and the Roman Empire. So he's including biblical events. Hold on. Some of y'all like, I didn't come here to see you drink water, motherfucker. Man, shout out to Martin Lawrence, man. That first stand-up he did, man. You so crazy. Still gotta watch it today, man. I mean, that's genius. That's on that Prior, man. That's on that Delirious, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Alright. Back to it. So he included many tidbits of odd information about biblical events in the Roman Empire, and he was interested in legends about Cappadocia. Legends about Cappadocia. Legends about Mazaca. Foundational legends, biblical legends. All these people are interested in it, but they have to twist it, right? Everything they give us is twisted. They twist it. Everything is twisted. So you've been hit with uppercuts since before you were conscious, you were hit with uppercuts. Check it. He included many tidbits of odd information about biblical events and the Roman Empire, and he was interested in legends about Cappadocia or Mazaca or Mashi or Mosoch. When he mentioned Mazaca, the original name for the city that eventually became Caecarea or Khazariah or Khazar. The original name for the city that eventually became Kasariyah, he noted that this name was derived from Mosoch, the founder of the Cappadocians. Or as Josephus calls the Cappadocians, the founder of Mosheni. Again, Josephus says, and the Mosochini were founded by Mosoch. Now they are Cappadocians. This is also a mark on their ancient denomination, still to be showed. Well, I guess we're showing it now, right? For there is even now among them a city called Mazaca, which may inform those that are able to understand that so was the entire nation once called. Josephus, Antiquity of the Jews, Book 1, Chapter 6. And all the links are still up there for you, so you can research, pull these up. Cappadocia is going to drop, more drop. You know. More drop, more drop, more drop. The Hellenistic, all that stuff, the Greek, all that stuff. You understand the difference between Greeks and Romans. You got to peel back the layers indigenously. Greeks are the sons of Javan, right? Son of Japheth. So Javan is your Greeks, specifically the bloodline of Javan, right? But the Romans, the real Idumeans, or the real sons of Chittim, right? Chittim, you know what I'm saying, is coming where, you know? It's almost like there's Idumea, there's Edom, and then that's also where we're connected to Chittim. But then you also have Chittim, or the connection, should I say. Let's find it. Chittim. So I have escaped the name of Chittim. Cathimas. I'm in the book of Josephus. I'm still in the first verse here. It says, and Kethimus, spelled Cethimus, possessed the island Kethima, and is now called Cyprus. And from that, it is that all islands and the greatest part of the sea coast are named Kethim by the Hebrews. Kittim. So Kethimus possessed the island Kethima, and it is now called Cyprus. And from that, it is that all islands and the greatest part of the sea coast are named Kethim by the Hebrews. And one city there is in Cyprus that has been able to preserve its denomination. It is called Citius, Citius, by those who use the language of Greeks, and has not, by the use of the dialect, escaped the name Kethim, Cetin. It says, and so many nations have the children and grandchildren of Japheth possessed. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Again, the etymology, you look it up, click on the link, Wikipedia, the etymology of Kasariyah. It says, in parentheses, Kasariyah in Cappadocia. Alright, so Kasariyah. It was later called Caecarea by the later Turks, it says. Or people of Seljuk, in the Seljuk period, they called it that. But the etymology says Caesarea was originally called Mazaca, or Mazaca, by the Haitians. Let me make sure I got the right Haitians. Let me click on where they say Haitians. Maybe they talking about some other Haitian. This might be more dry. Mesopotamian, land of Hatti, Haiti. Woo! All right. Now we're going to link this to Central Asia. The Haitians, or they call them Hattians, they're trying to hide it, were an ancient people. So if they're ancient, they black, right? If they're ancient, they melanated, right? Who inhabited the land of Hatti, Hatti, in central Anatolia. This group was documented at least as early as the empire of Sargon of Akkad in 2300 BC, until it was gradually absorbed by the Indo-Europeans, Hittites, who became identified as the land of Hatti. Hittites, Haiti, Hatti. Alright? You already are doing it. I feel you. I feel it working. Let me click on religion. I kind of just want to scroll this. It says, alright, Hattian religion traces back to the Stone Age. It involved worship of the earth, which is personified as a mother goddess. The Hattians, or Haitians, honored their mother goddess to ensure their crops and their own well-being. So you go to the land of Haiti or Dominican Republic, some other brothers dropped it, Hasten is coming, and you got nothing but Santa Maria, you got voodoo. Now where's this stuff coming from? They're worshiping the earth, they're worshiping this, right? So they're coming right in at the hijack. This is way, you know, whoever these, you know, some people say the Haitians are the Levites, but we're all connecting old world, new world stuff here. And the people that were here that Columbus was finding, were they Levites or were they Hittites? You know what I'm saying? This is what we're trying to understand. According to the religion that they're trying to trace back to 2300 BC, and it says the Haitian religion traced back to the Stone Age. It involved worship of the earth, which is personified as a mother goddess. The Haitians honored the mother goddess to ensure their crops and their own well-being. The Haitian pantheon of gods included the storm god Taru. All right, we got the storm god is Zeus. He's still here, represented by a bull. The sun goddess Feru-Semu, and Wuru-Semu, represented by a leopard, and a number of other elemental gods. Reliefs in Qatar, Huak, show a female figure giving birth to a bull, i.e. the mother goddess Kataha or Hanahana was mother to the storm god Taru. Later on, the Hittites subsumed much of the Haitian pantheon into their own religious beliefs. All right, the concept of the earthbound deity was deeply rooted in the indigenous Haitian consciousness from prehistoric times. So these prehistoric times is whenever this particular hijack happened. Now, you look it up, you look up these names, but it's very interesting stuff. Read it. Love it. Love the drop. Alright, can you see that? Hope y'all can see that. If not, pull it up, man. Trying to keep it still. Alright, here we go. Pull it up. Shit. So, let's just go back. Where was that? Man, got too many tabs on. Too many tabs, not enough time. Oh, I gotta go back. Kasariyah was originally called Mazaca or Mazaca by the Haitians, Hattians, right? So I'm saying Haitians, but it's spelled Hattians. That could have nothing to do with Haitians, Hai. We're just connecting dots here. And if I wasn't tying this to South America, when you are back in this Tower of Babel, the cultural history of our ancestors. All right, so this is the only reason why I would consider this Haitian, Haitians, Hittite connection in America, is that we know that the Hittites are in America. We know that Columbus, you know what I'm saying, when he found this island, he called this Atlantis, right? And he's saying, you know, it's saying in a separate source, and the, you know, when you research Khazar, that this Caecarea was first called Mazaca by Haitians. Then it says in a separate source, Tower of Babel, the cultural history of our ancestors by Badi Hodge, There's a group of people known as Moshe, Mashi, and Mashira in Peru, in South America. Okay? So now we got the Moshe Mosoch connection in South America. That's true. He's gonna leave. So I leave open the possibility that these people were descendants of Meshach that traveled this far. So he's just gonna just throw that out there, do a stage left, and just leave that possibility open. So if Mazaca was originally called Mazaca by Haitians or Haitians, then where is Haitians in America, where these people known as Mashi, Maski, and Mashiro in Peru and in South America? If I didn't have this separate substantiating evidence that the Mashi people are here in Peru and South America, Mazaca's here in Peru and South America, and it was first called Mazaca by Haitians or Hittites. I don't know. I'm not that smart. Y'all smarter than me, so maybe you can find that. However, that's a hell of a wave. Heck of a wave. But their language went extinct about 100 years ago, right? So we got these connections, you know. Bottom line, a lot of people are here, right? And that's all cool. The creator of all gives all of our family lots. We can all agree on that. We all are the creator's children. All of us are the creator's children, right? But what lot is yours? What order was given to you? And if only a certain tribe or tribes of children are still coming with the order of antiquity and everybody else is calling them mythology, when the mythology really happened where? Let's remember where the mythology happened. Philostrosius did not embrace their version of Orthodox theology. Instead, he and his family accepted the doctrines of Eunomius, another Cappadocian theologian, who Basil and Gregory of Nyssa would personally discredit and vilify. Nor did Philostrosius remain in Cappadocia, since even he moved to Constantinople. In his ecclesiastical history, Philostrosius was hence both economical and local. He included many tidbits of odd information about biblical events and the Roman Empire. And he was interested in legends of Cappadocia, or Mazaca. When he mentioned Mazaca, the original name for the city that eventually became Kasariyah, or Caesarea, or Caesar again. I didn't know all this time I was ordering Caesar salads. I was just ordering Khazar salads. Maybe I was ordering Mosoch salads, alright? The original name for the city that eventually became Caesarea, Khazar, he noted that this name was derived from Mazac, the founder of the Cappadocia. Then it goes on to say Mazac is an intriguing primal ancestor. He says Mazac is an intriguing primal ancestor. Primal means indigenous first people. So are they hiding this Mazac Moshe, first people connected to Adam, in the children of Japheth? Would your enemy hide this there? Would they say, that's too much connecting, let's just put him in this lineage? Are they switching up people in different lineages that we got to say, this person might be this lineage based on this cooperating evidence? Possibly, maybe not, but here's where the drop comes in. And I just looked down and saw this, so I did not expect it, and you're riding this wave with me. Mosoch, I'm still out the book, The Making of Christian Communities in Late Antiquity and the Middle Ages by Mark F. Williams. It says Mosoch is an intriguing primal ancestor. His name suggests some sort of Semitic derivation. I'm just going to do a stage walk. Hey! Don't you mess with that. Alright. I'm glad I went back, man. My little 3-year-old trying to jam up my computer. So thank y'all for that. Mosoch is an intriguing primal ancestor. His name suggests some sort of Semitic derivation. and his reputation as the founder of Cappadocians seems to hint at a foundational legend, a first legend, the oral story of the indigenous native people, real people. His name suggests some sort of Semitic derivation, Mosoch, Moshe, Mashe, Mashini, Mazashini. You follow Mazaca, you're Mazashini. You're in the land of Mazaca, you're Mazashini. And you got this connection in Peru and South America, and this person drops Shem in a separate book source connected to Mazaca, and we just connected that to Peru, Heru, Jerusalem. And then we got Columbus in the Biblioteca de Colombina, Sevilla, telling you I came here to America to recapture the holy city in Mount Zion. Where is that? Mexico and Peru. Tenochtitlan. Peru is the center of it all. That's the center of Atlantis. The man-made islands were destroyed. Poseidon's man-made islands, right? Thoth's man-made islands, right? This is their turf until it's, time for the slave vibration to be up, which I'm telling you it is. So you don't have to live an illusion of time and space. Here it says Mosoch is an intriguing primal ancestor. His name suggests primal means he was here before the hijack. He's a foundation legend. He was here before the hijack. Primal. Don't let it trick you, man. That means he was here before the fallen angels. You know what I'm saying? This particular hijack. That's the legend of this person. Before you got hijacked. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. I don't know if he was here literally before any first fallen angel. Just for those that are just out there. I'm just saying he's primal, man. His legend goes back before the hijack. So he's saying Mosoch is an intriguing primal ancestor. His name suggests some sort of Semitic derivation. Does the name Moshe suggest some sort of, derivation to something, some foundation legend that's happening in the tribe of Shem? They're not saying the name Moshe itself, but he's saying the name suggested. He didn't say the name Mosoch breaks down to this particular X, Y, and Z. He's saying this suggested. And even if the Egyptians say that they came up with Moshe and that's an Egyptian thing, still, the indigenous people are the indigenous people. They're still speaking a Semitic language. Even the brothers in that debate, a while back with the Kemet versus Egypt, all that stuff that, was going on. The brothers from, I should remember their names, but they came from Africa, they came out here to debate, and they broke down the Semitic derivation of the metaneta, of that which we're calling this language, and he had all the documentation up and nobody refuted it, that this metaneta is coming from a Semitic set of languages. And you hear here, Moshe, or Mosoch, is an intriguing primal ancestor. His name suggests some sort of Semitic derivation, and his reputation as the founder of Cappadocians seems to hint at a foundation legend for the region that was older than the adoption of Greek myths. Body bag for the illusion. Hey, cheers to the chump. Cheers to you, the chump in the corner. Cheers. That's for the chumps, man. Still thinking about this illusion. Still want to swim in bullshit. Now, this is a possibility. We are here to be scientific, right? To use repeatable, observable science. Have we not repeatedly seen this Mazaca? Have we not seen much substantiating sources about this Mazaca? How it connects to Cappadocia, how it connects to these Khazars, these Caesars, and now how it connects to Mosoch as a primal ancestor whose name suggests some type of Semitic derivation. Before, I thought it was trickery. I was like, yeah, right, man, they JPET. They just trying to say they Shem. Or they trying to say they Shem. And now you're dealing with Peru and South America and the actual migration of these Aztecs and these Mayas that say that they were following what they were calling, or in the translated Kishis, the Balam Keats or Kitse. You know what I'm saying? But this person with this staff that opened these things up, that was following the Great Spirit, all throughout the Mayan cliches in the book the Kashi Quails, the Annals of the Kashi Quails we were dropping, right? And there's more to it in the book of the Mexican Pyramids and all this Mystery of the Mexican Pyramids that the brother Michael Thompson Copper Warrior was dropping. All right, so come on now, one more time. Mosoch is an intriguing primal ancestor. His name suggests some sort of Semitic derivation, and his reputation as a founder of Cappadocians seems to hint at a foundational legend for the region that was older than the adoption of Greek myths. Unfortunately, he remains completely obscure. Could it be by design of the Greeks? When the Greek myths come in, what happened? Why is he obscure? Here's the drop, and this is how we're going to do our dismount. Unfortunately, his name, Mosoch, remains completely obscure. Philostrosius, in fact, knew so little about the legend that he could not match up the consonants and the vowels in order to make sense of the postulated etymological link between the city's name, Mazaca, and Mosoch's name. So he couldn't even deal with the vowels and consonants. That's the kind of facts we should be taking from these people. So he shrugged and invented a makeshift phonetic transfer. After the passage of time, the city was called Mazaca through a swerving. It's really Mosoch. Mosoch is the name of the city. And that, as the joint was breaking down in Peru, they said there's a group of people known as Moshe, M-O-C-H-E, or Moshi, M-O-S-C-H-I, or Mesheru, M-E-S-H-E-R-A, in Peru, in South America. I will leave open the possibility that these people are descendants of Mazaca that traveled this far. Or possibly they from here. Now, y'all remember this map? That we got from the site britishisrael.us. And what do you see? What's in North America, right? You see Judah, you see all the tribes. Now this site tries to connect them all to Mongols because they don't want to let you Negroes know what's up. But you see you are right here. And you are from here. And this is the origin of nations. Not the migration of nations. The origin of nations, a separate substantiating source telling you who you are. From the British Israel.us. Telling you all right here. And it puts you over there too. So you're in Asia and you're here. But this is your land by lot. Abraham's land by lot, by land contract. Shem's land by lot, by land contract. We're, just gonna relax, take a sip. I'll do it. All right. Now, when we go back and research Mazaca and the original people of Byzantine, and you have this forced marriage happen when the albino people came in. So you have this king, this Byzantine emperor, or Mosoch emperor, Manuel, his name is spelled M-A-N-O-U-E-L, and his second wife Maria in Antioch, 1100 AD. This is in the Vatican Library. Why is this picture in the Vatican Library of an indigenous person in a land that we are now understanding as Mosoch or Moshe? I mean, what makes him so royal, right? What makes him so special, right? All right, man. So we're going to do our dismount right here. So after the passage of time, the city was called Mazaca through a swerving. In the latter Roman Empire, all that survived of whatever legends there may have been about Mosoch or Moshe were his name, his reputation, and his obscure connection with the name of the city. Obscure connection. Obscure. Tidbits. Odd information is all they give you, right? Odd information. Obscure connection. But you still know his name, his reputation. Why? Because you know Moses. Don't you know his name? Don't you know his reputation? That means what he did. If he wasn't Moses, then you don't know his name and reputation. So why would they say that his name and reputation is still here? Unless it's Moses. And, you know, you got movies written about this stuff, right? So could he be that important? Well, he's definitely hidden, and he was erased by Greek mythology. And, alright, in the latter Roman Empire, all that survived of whatever legends there may have been about Mosoch were his name, his reputation, and his obscure connection with the name of the city, the myth of Mosoch, the founders. They call him the founder for a reason. The myth of Mosoch, the founder, was a lost memory or destroyed heritage. The myth of Mosoch, the founder, was a lost memory, a fragment of an abandoned past. Come on, man. Oh, man. Come on, man. Come on, brother. Come on, sister. Activate. 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 All right, don't let me blind y'all, man. With my stunner shades at night. The myth of Mosoch, the founder, was a lost memory, a fragment of an abandoned past, a casualty of an adoption of Greek mythology, or the imposition of Roman rule, or the expansion of Christianity. Are you feeling me, dog? What's the difference between Roman rule and the expansion of Christianity? Why do they keep saying or? They just putting different terms and terminologies out there. We read in part 1 that this expansion of Christianity, this Roman rule, these are seeds. It said 2 seeds fell down, was cast down. All right, 2 seeds was cast down. What was that in? Y'all got me doing too much research, man. My head's gonna go. Now I'm gonna try to find this for y'all. Just because I love you, man. Romanization. Come on, be there. Mazaca. Man. Could be anywhere. It's in part. It's in the previous part, alright? I don't want to do this again because it starts, you know how much I love y'all. You know I'll try to find it. Maybe. Alright. Hold up, maybe this will help. This ain't that drop, but this is something else. There's so much drop here. It says the administrative structure of the Roman province of Cappadocia much resembled those of the Achaemenid satrapy and post-Achaemenid kingdom. Mazaca, apparently called Caecarea or Khazariah since the reign of Archelaus, remained the capital. The name Eusebia still appears in inscriptions on the coins. Eusebia, Eusebia, inscriptions, Now that was the last king of Cappadocia, was this Eusebia. That's what I was trying to get earlier. So I just want to get that. And I'll just go back to where I was, man, before I go crazy. But go back to part 1 and you'll see that in here somewhere I read that that the Roman rule and this expansion of Christianity both are 2 seeds, they say, are one, that are being cast down to the earth. 2 seeds, they said, are intertwining together. So the seed of Christianity is what we've been bringing out. This was coming out of a place that was once called Mazaca, and these people, this Philostrosius, and all the stuff that was, he brought that to Constantinople. Then you got the Council of Nicaea, 1, 2, and 3. Then you got your Biblios, right? Then you got your connection that's coming with this New Testament. We that have the inner voice know that our New Testament, that our new covenant comes with a new vibration. Activate. So the Roman Empire, all that survived of whatever legends, foundational legends, there may have been about Mosoch, where his name, his reputation, and his obscure connection with the city, name of the city, the myth of Mosoch, the founder, was a lost memory, a fragment of an abandoned past, a casualty of the adoption of Greek mythology, or the imposition of Roman rule, or the expansion of Christianity. Erased history. Erased your history. And it, did the shuffle. I'm going to take this son of J. Pet, I'm going to take this son, put it here. So even when they wake up, they're going to still think that they're going to be so cross-eyed. They're going to be so cross-eyed. A fragment of an abandoned past, a casualty of an adoption of Greek mythology, or the imposition of Roman rule, or the expansion of Christianity. Columbus, the slaughter, 95% of y'all, 95 to every 100 Maya that was slaughtered in the book American Holocaust by Dan Stanner. In a Greek, Roman, or Christian society, Mosoch the founder has become meaningless. In a Greek, Roman, or Christian society, Mosoch, Moshe, the founder, has become meaningless. In a Greek, Roman, or Christian society, Mosoch, Mose, Mozachini, Mazaca, Moshe, in South America and Peru. In a Greek, a Roman, and Christian society that was brought to your shores, Mosoch, the founder, has become meaningless. Activate.